Hi guys, I'm here in my living room today and I would like if you would get your book and open up with me to page 16. I have it down in front of me so I will keep referring to it. But this goes into looking inside the cells. Now this may be a little bit of a review from 5th grade if you've had it before, but honestly I forget them every single year, so it's probably good to talk about it again, all the different things that are inside a cell. And again, it's just kind of like mind-boggling to me that a cell is so small in and of itself, but then there's things even smaller that make up the cell. So again, God is just awesome, and that's really cool. So the first vocab that we come across is the organelles. And these are just the little cell structure. It's their overall name. So as we break down each of those, the general name are the organelles. And it kind of sounds like organs that make up your body. That just means a small organ, basically an organelle. Now, on page 17, we're entering into a plant cell, like they said at the beginning of the section, and we first must go through the cell wall. Now, these are only found in plants, okay, because cell walls help a plant stand upright, right? They don't have bones to keep them up like we do. If we didn't have our bones, then we'd probably just be like a jelly-like substance on the ground. It'd be really weird, a big blob. Okay, but plant cells would be the same way. They don't have bones, but they have rigid cell walls that help them. If you stack one on top of the other, they are going to be able to stand up. So please make sure that you know that a plant has a cell wall and an animal cell does not have a cell wall. But as we go through, the next organelle that we meet is the cell membrane. Now, both a plant and animal cell have a cell membrane, and this controls what substances come in and out of a cell. Okay, water is good for a cell, but like blood may not be. You don't want blood to go through all of your cells. Okay, so there's some things that we want to go inside our cells and some things that we don't. So the cell membrane kind of takes care of that. So I'm going to turn the page to page 18. And the main hub of the cell is the nucleus. It's like the nucleus is to the cell as the brain is to our body. Okay, this is where it's its control center. All of the activities that are happening in the cell happen because of the nucleus. Now, in some of the, what are they called? Like diagrams that I'll be showing you, and I think I'm going to send you one that you can interactively figure out online. They talk about the nuclear envelope. Okay, and this is just a small membrane that seals the nucleus in. Okay, just like if you were to put a letter inside of an envelope and then mail it, it keeps it safe. So that's what the nuclear envelope is doing. Then we come to the next thing called chromatin, and it says like how does the nucleus know how to direct all of the things in the cell? Well, it's through the chromatin, and these contain genetic material, and it directs the cell's functions. Okay, so it says that the chromatin ensure that the leaf cells grow and divide to form more leaf cells, something that's important for a plant. Then you have this small little thing inside the nucleus called the nucleolus. It's just fun to say. And this is where the ribosomes are made. We'll learn about ribosomes in just a minute, but this is where they are formed from, and ribosomes produce proteins, which all of our cells need proteins, so we need the nucleolus inside the nucleus to form the ribosomes, which make the proteins. Got it? Okay, good. Alright, page 19. Organelles that are in the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is just the jelly-like substance that everything just kind of sits in, alright, kind of holds everything together. If you made the cell model in 5th grade, the cytoplasm was our clay. We put the clay into a rectangle form, and then we put it into a circle for the plant and for the animal, and then we stuck the bird seed in side the clay to kind of hang out there, and so the cytoplasm is what holds everything together. Next is the mitochondria. These are the powerhouses of the cell because they convert energy in food molecules to energy that the cell can use to carry out its function. Again, we can't do anything if we don't have the energy to do it. So we eat to gain energy, and then the mitochondria take those food molecules, break them down, and send them to all the things in the cells that need them to actually just work, okay? The powerhouses, right? If you didn't have the power, it's not going to work. Then something that's really annoying to say, the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, it looks like a maze of passageways, but these carry proteins and other materials from one part of the cell to another. And if you look at the bottom of page 19, it does look like a maze. Like you literally take your pen through it and figure out where you're going. So there's smooth endoplasmic reticulum or smooth ER, and there's rough ER. I am honestly not sure what the difference is. Your book doesn't really go into it much, but the interactive I might send you will separate it. So just learn it if you can. And then the last one on the page are the ribosomes. These are the factories that produce proteins. You know what protein is. You know what foods give you protein. Well, ribosomes help form proteins that your cells need to function. All right, let's turn the page. You would see page 20 and 21, the difference between the plant cell, which is over here. No, this is the plant cell. Sorry, this is awkward. Okay, plant cell. Notice the outer cell wall. It's rigid. And then you have your animal cell. Okay, they do look different. Something that you could do for fun is see what the differences are. Like, what does the plant cell have that the animal cell doesn't? I'm not sure if there's anything that an animal cell has that a plant cell doesn't. That's something you'd have to maybe take a look at. But, like, most things that the plant cell has, the animal cell has as well. All right, I'm on page 22. These are fun to say, the Golgi bodies. Okay. These are thought of as the cell's mailroom. That makes me think of Elf when he's in the mailroom with his friend. And so the Golgi bodies receive proteins and other newly formed materials from the endoplasmic reticulum. They package them and then they distribute them to the other parts of the cells. So again, they can also release the materials outside the cell. So these are like the post office. The post office gets all the letters and then they have to go and deliver them out individually. That's what the Golgi bodies are doing. So we need them as well. Now the chloroplasts. These are only found in plant cells. They are what helps turn the plant cell or the plants green. So we are thankful that we don't have them as humans or animals. Because what they do is they capture energy from the sunlight and they use it to produce food for the cell. And they make the leaves green. Alright, again, I wish that we didn't have to eat food, that we could just make our own, but that's not the way it works. So that's what the chloroplasts help do. The next thing is the vacuole. This is the storage area of the cell. It usually just stores water. And so this is a big difference. The vacuole in a plant cell is way bigger than the vacuole in an animal cell because it has to store so much more water in the plant cell than it does in the animal cell. The next thing, lysosomes. These are small round structures containing chemicals that break down certain materials in the cell. They can break down large food particles into smaller ones if that's what the plant or the cell needs. They can also break down old cell parts and release the substances so that they can be used again. So they kind of are like the recycling or the cleanup crew, as the book says. Then you have different specialized cells. I'm on page 23. Like, each type of cell in your body is a specialized cell. You have nerve cells. You have, like, well, I don't know, skin cells. Like, red blood cells, white blood cells. They all do different things. A nerve cell has a completely different function than a red blood cell does. Okay, so we can't just all be composed of nerve cells. We would literally be one big brain, which that was one of your robotics things, wasn't it? Well, there you go. You were a big brain. Okay, and then the last page, 24, bacterial cells. They have streptococcus at the top. That's like strep throat in the green. And then I don't know what the pink one is. But these are interesting because they are much, much smaller than like human skin cells. They're like 10 times smaller, a bacterial cell is. They do have a cell wall and a cell membrane, which is interesting because they're not plants, so I'm not really sure why they have a cell wall. But they have no nucleus. Okay, so like this, they don't have the brain. They don't have a brain inside to control them. But they do have genetic material, and it's just kind of hanging out, and it's found in the cytoplasm. They have ribosomes, but they have no other organelles that would be found in plant or animal cells. Okay, so they have a cell wall, a cell membrane, they have genetic material, and they have ribosomes, but that's it. So that's why bacterial cells are a little bit different, and probably they spread much quicker. I mean, a bacterial cell is different from like a virus, but they kind of spread in the same way. So it kind of has to do with what we're dealing with right now and why I'm talking to you on video. Yeah, so hopefully that clears things up a little bit. I know there's a lot of vocab, but you're going to be doing some activities to help you just to get some of the main parts of the cell down. I know there's a lot to learn, but honestly, when it comes to test time, you'll probably be able to use your book. So we'll see how that goes. All right, but please still try. Again, the more you learn now, the easier biology in high school will be later. All right, thanks guys. Talk to you later.